He'll paint your noose like an old man. He's got you thinking about your death and you are frightened.
Everyone, I'm Ada from PoisonedRock, and today we have with us Stefan Weber from Rage. Hi, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Sunny with an amazing sunny day. So I will start, of course, speaking about Rage. So could you tell us a little bit about the band?
Yeah, as you probably know, this is a new lineup situation, you know.
Yeah, I was aware of that. I knew it.
Yeah.
You joined in June, I think.
A little bit before that, yeah, but
Yeah.
I think June was when the announcement came out, and Marcos left, of course, and now the band has gone back to having two guitarists. So this is me and Gene Borman is the other guitarist, which I think is great for live because you really don't have the holes you get when just one guitarist is there while playing the solo. There is no other guitar underneath, and so on and so on. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. We have been steadily working on the set list, doing things like the Wacken Worldwide, and recording a video, and started writing and all this kind of stuff, you know.
Yes, so let's speak about the last album, Wings of Rage.
Yeah.
What could you tell about that?
Not very much because I was not in the band.
I mean,
I guess that I like the album because
okay. Everything's in your opinion. If there is,
well, I think of the era of Rage that was with Marcos, this one,
yes,
for me by far is the strongest of the three records. I think especially like the first half of Wings of Rage is phenomenal. There are only great songs on there, and it's a lot of fun to play it live, you know, like the song Wings of Rage or True or something like this. It's really great. It's awesome.
So before the band used to, I mean, the previous name was Avenger of the band of Rage.
Yeah.
Did you know why they choose to decide to change the name?
Oh, you should probably ask that to PB. I'm not sure exactly.
You can make a note and say has to do.
It could have been for legal reasons, but I'm not really sure. I don't know. This is so long ago.
yeah, I know it, and we probably could make a little bit ads on the interview, just asking to him. So for you, of course, always speaking personally, there is a particular song of Rage that represented most the sound of the band.
No, because the band has had so many iterations and not so many different lineups, but certain lineups that have stayed there for certain periods of time, and they all have their distinct sound, you know. When you look at the era with Money and with Chris, it's different from the era with the two guitarists in the 90s, with Sven and Spiros. And it's totally different from the era with Victor Smolsky or with Marcus, you know, and every era has great songs. There, for example, the Sven and Spiros era has one of my all-time favorite songs, From the Cradle to the Grave, which is the song that got me into Rage because I heard it on a sampler from the Rock Hard CD. I still to this day know what sampler and so on. Sampler number 18 from the Rock Hard in 1998.
That's amazing.
So, this got me hooked directly, and then came the time with Victor Smolsky, and there were great songs there, like Down or Straight to Hell or whatever, you know. And there's not one song that really defines the sound of Rage, but there are songs that I think define sounds of certain eras of Rage.
Yes, I understand what you mean. Okay, so you arrived. You said, of course, the announcement was in June, but you said before, you said earlier. How is playing with Rage?
Come again, please.
I said that you arrived in June, okay? And how is playing with stage? I mean, being inside the band for you a sensation as for your, for your musical experience. How is it?
It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. It's way more fun than I've had playing guitar in a couple of years, because in between, lots of it felt like a lot of work and not a lot of joy, you know. And now it's, of course, it's also work, because you really have to learn the songs and you have to dig deep,
Yes.
perform them well, and you have to go into details and stuff. But overall, it's just when we meet here and we rehearse, it's all of us having a good time, and that feels great. And also, it's not like it's a totally new situation for me with the guys, because I have known PV and Lucky since, I guess, 2014.
Yeah, so it's
Because
like, yeah.
I supported Rage with another band, with Lion Twin it was back then. And Lucky was also not in Rage at that time yet. He supported Rage on the same tour with his other band, Tri-State Corner. So that's where we all got to know each other. And or not Lucky and PV, they knew each other before, but yeah, I got to know them. And so we kept in touch over the years, and I'm actually right now at the Rage booking agency because I work here as well. So yeah, does you see the Rage merchandise?
Yes.
So yeah, it's all been I don't know. It's been great. We have known each other for such a long time, and it's not like we had to get acquainted with each other, you know.
Yeah, you have already like a connection to the band.
Definitely.
After you joined, yeah. And since we spoke about that, there are some memories in particular that you have with them, funny moments, or moments that really stayed inside in your heart, in your memory that you want to share with us.
From back then, from the tour in 2014, or now recent memories?
No, I mean in general, just even if you were, for example, younger, listening to the Rage, or later when you joined the band, it's about you and about the Rage.
Well, from the tour back then, when I was still supporting Rage, there were some great shows, and there was some bad things also that happened on the tour. For example, our other guitarist had a heart attack in Spain. So from that point on, I had to play the guitar alone in the band, you know.
It's really huge burden. It's a really huge burden. I mean, it was...
Yeah, I mean, it was fine, but it was challenging, definitely.
Yeah.
More, it was the situation we were in. We were concerned for him, of course, you know.
Of course, yeah. Being concerned and focused on playing isn't easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah.
I remember some great shows. I remember a great show in Spain, and also fun 2 off days in Barcelona with lots of tapas and swimming in the ocean, and you know, stuff you rarely get to do on tour, because usually it's you're traveling and then you step out of the bus, you're at the venue, you do check, you wait, you play the show, you go to the bus, you travel to the next city, and you can't see anything else aside from backstage areas and the tour bus. So
I'll try this experience next year. I hope to with a band that I'm organizing a gig in all the Europe. So yeah, I think that it will be like that. Maybe 1 day off and then 5 days playing. Yeah, I think it will be like that.
It's also really all about how do you finance a tour, because you cannot just go on tour and have like a show, 2 off days, a show, 2 off days. It's not possible financially, you know. Yeah, those were fun memories, and now all the recent stuff that has happened, playing the gig in the cave for Wacken, was awesome. Recording the video clip with which we presented the new lineup was awesome. And we're working on some more stuff, but I cannot say.
Of course, you can say. I was saying before we started recording that I wanted to ask you a specific questions just for you. You played in Access, right? What happened? Okay, I didn't see you in Access. So, what could you tell about that band? I mean, think about your period in that band. How was it?
Well, it was from 2014 on until the end of 2018. We did 2 records, but I was just actually playing on the first one because during the recording time of the second, I had a lot of personal horrible stuff happen in my life, and I wasn't like in the state of mind to do that, to record a record. And it was a good experience. We did some great stuff. I mean, my first shows were the Full Metal Cruise in Spain, so there was like directly being thrown into the cold water, you know, and directly play something huge, and it was great. And we did some cool tours together, and I think we brought a lot of fun and joy to the people.
So you basically just go to Access to Rage, or you because you spoke about another band.
Yeah, more.
Like,
you know, while I was in Access, at the end of that period, I joined together with Marcos, the former guitarist of Rage. I joined Dio Legacy, which is a tribute band where Marcos sings. And then I kept that band after, or I stayed in that band after Access ended, or Access didn't end, but I stepped out of Access. And then I'm also in another German power metal, speed metal band called Scanner. I joined them in 2019, I think. Yeah. And yeah, I've always been busy with music, but it wasn't like I left Access and then
maybe you were playing
Rage. No,
at the same time, maybe.
There was a period of, I think, 1.5 years between that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking about influences now I will ask you, of course, which are the influences of Rage first, and then we will move to you. So for Rage, I mean, of course you joined recently, but if you have to say for you, which are the influences for Rage?
Do you mean what are the influences I want to bring into Rage's music, or?
Both.
Well, it's difficult to say because, you know, when you've been playing guitar for as long as I have been doing it, you have your certain styles and your influences you have grown up with, definitely. And it's not like certain things, it's not like you go ahead and say, okay, I'm gonna write a Rage song in the style of Pantera or something like that. This is not happening. It's just you write what you write, and sure, sometimes you hear something and you try to do something similar, not to copy somebody, but just because you find it so damn cool. And then you write, and as the song develops, it turns into something entirely different. This is actually what usually happens. I've sat down so many times and was like, okay, I'm trying to write a Slayer song, I'm trying to write a Dream Theater song. Never turns out that way.
Yeah, because you started maybe with that sound in your mind, and it just turned out there is a completely different sound, maybe just even genre, and you change it.
Exactly. And for Rage, it's not like we don't have a playbook. It's not like PV says, okay, we have to write a new record, it's that many songs, but you have to write in that style and you have to do this and that. Because also when you listen to Rage over the years, there were so many different types of metal reflected in the music. It's not really one style. You have the more old school thrashy songs, you have the more
Yeah.
epic stuff, you have the more progressive stuff, the ballad
Yeah.
stuff, and so on and so on. So
Yes, in fact, I never been able to, sell rage as a with a specific genre of metal. It's you can say that rage are trash, are heavy, are they I've had just mixes. They add like a little bit of everything. So for this, I asked about the influences because with so many different types of a little bit of that, a little bit of that. It's I think this is what a band should do. Just bring different sounds.
yeah, for some bands, for Rage it works well because in the end, when you add Peavy and his influence and his voice, it will always sound like Rage. We will not go ahead and make a blast beat song, and sound like I don't know, Cryptopsy or whatever.
Yeah.
But it will always sound like Rage in the end. But for other bands, having multiple styles and influences doesn't even work. Can you imagine a progressive AC/DC song? I can't. I wouldn't want to hear it. It's just not. It's not AC/DC.
It's even impossible imagine that. Or Dream Theater song played like Napalm Death.
Yeah, Dream Theater song with just 3 chords, 4 on the floor beat, and 3 minutes long. It's not happening. It's just not Dream Theater.
and and for you as a guitarist, 'cause
Yeah.
I know that you teach guitar. You're a guitarist.
Yeah.
Which bands or musicians or guitarists influenced your way of composing? And yourself, of course, because
Okay.
everyone has our influences. Even me, that I play another instrument.
So, how long do we have time? Because this could be such a huge list.
Just
just-
prepare, because there's questions like that about influences and something like that even better. So
the main influence for me is the Bay Area thrash metal, or always has been. Because when I was 13, I discovered Metallica. I got hooked like in a nanosecond, and that was the moment when I heard Enter Sandman for the first time. I knew, okay, I'm gonna be a musician. That was it. I played another instrument back then, mainly saxophone, and just played a little guitar, not even because I wanted it, just because my parents were like, yeah, you should add a second instrument just for diversity or whatever. And that moment changed everything, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna play guitar. And then I discovered all the other bands from that area, like Megadeth and Slayer and Exodus and whatever. And I fell in love with that pretty quickly, actually. And then also Machine Head and Pantera were definitely
Yeah.
influenced.
with the rock playing, but I'm trying to get you. It's hard.
Yeah, I guess so. And then it branched out a little bit. I got into the prog stuff. I got into the more melodic stuff. Like from Germany, I was a huge Blind Guardian fan. So much so that when they released Nightfall in Middle Earth, after half a year, I had to buy a new CD because I literally played it to death until the CD was just done.
Yeah, I loved it too when I was young.
I don't know if you remember Discmans, just from putting it in and out. And
Yes, we have the same age.
I couldn't play it anymore.
I was born in the 80s, so yeah.
So and then I got into all the weirder stuff like Cynic and all the Rush and the progressive stuff and so on. And also because I got to know those guitar players, I was like, wow, John Petrucci is incredible. I want to play like this, and so on. And so I practiced a lot, and there are so many influences that have come over the years, also not metal related. For example, when I studied guitar, we got lessons in other musical directions as well. I got to know stuff like Diana Ross and funk, and Jeff Beck, who's an incredible guitar player. So-
Imagine,
or
because
more to the blues and jazz direction, like Aldemiola, Romantic Warrior stuff, and so on and so on. You know, there's so much out there, and everything influences you a little bit, and everything is a challenge and fun to play
yeah,
because see, I love downstroking. I love going 240 beats per minute and playing Master of Puppets and playing my own stuff, whatever. But every once in a while, I also want to play like just nice chords or like a beautiful melody, and depends on my mood entirely. I can listen to black metal one day, and the next day I'm listening to
true.
Joe Bonamassa, for example.
Yeah.
You know,
And speaking about personal influences and life and music. Okay, so make an example. You are now an organizer of a tour, a plan and tour management. So if you have the power to choose where to go and which band brings you with you, where do you will we go and which band you will?
which band I would bring as somebody who books the tour, or as somebody.
You are the one who booked the tour. You can play. You can be also in rate too, and I mean, and the rate could be the headliner.
Okay, this is pretty simple. Any chance to ever play with Metallica, I would take, and I would spend probably all my money on. I have met them in 2009, I think. It was awesome, really cool. And I would just welcome that chance. But other than that, I have been. The last band that really, really got me hooked was Lamb of God. When
Yeah,
I discovered them, I was so blown away, and I would really love to play with them because I also love Randy's photography. It's awesome, and I like his philosophy, the way he thinks and sees the world. And I would love to just hang and talk, you know, because I think he's a very interesting person, and not the typical the typical rock star guy you meet, you know. And that's what interests me, meeting persons, you know.
and now we are at the five. The top, your top five. They could be songs, music, albums, or just band. You can just choose. You can also mix album, songs, whatever. It's up to you.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's not easy, but you can say even the first that comes into your mind. It couldn't be just your favorite ever, because I know when you have to answer a question like this, you have to think about it. Like for a lot of times, just you can say what comes into your mind immediately.
Okay, I will throw 5 totally different things at you.
Okay.
One, because it's always there, it has always been there in my life. Metallica, definitely. There's no discussion about that. Pizza. Ibanez as my guitar of choice. New band I discovered, which I really, really love, which is great, Year of the Goat.
Yeah.
And then number five, playing live, because right now we don't really get to do that, and I really want to get back to that because it's just so much fun, and it's essentially why you are in a band. It's not because of the money.
Yeah, especially for the festival, because for example in Germany there is my summer breeze and I can go there, so I'm just like stuck here every summer I'm in summer breeze. So
Yeah, and especially now with Rage, I want to experience all that stuff. I mean, I have played huge festivals. I have played the Full Metal Cruise twice. I've played the 70,000 Tons of Metal. I've played Wacken. I've played.
are you playing 7 Tons of Metal? How was it? I wanted because it's one of the most famous festival in the world.
It's awesome, but actually, although it's twice the size and so on of the Full Metal Cruise, I prefer the Full Metal Cruise.
Yeah.
Because I like all the organizational stuff of the Full Metal Cruise way more than I like the 70,000 tons. It was very impressive with all the 4 stages and I don't know 6,000 or 7,000 people on the boat or whatever. Was really great, but personally I just enjoyed the Full Metal Cruise more. That being said, the 70,000 tons of metal is awesome and it's really fun and I would do it in a heartbeat again, definitely.
So that's it. And speaking about, of course, we can say so much about for what you could, what we can say at least for the future plans of Rage right now.
The future
What
plan.
could-
Well, there's gonna be a new record, definitely. We are writing, or we have started writing, definitely. Then we hope we can tour next year because there's so much lined up, and to postpone it again would be not great. I mean, possible, but not great.
Music is really suffering right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And other than that, yeah, there's something coming up this year as well, but the news are not out yet, and I'm not gonna spoil it. So
Yeah, it will be a surprise for.
oh, definitely. And other than that, we're just rehearsing right now and preparing and learning the set list because, I mean, have you counted how many songs there are? It's really
Yeah.
several hundred, like 500 songs or whatever. I don't know. And I'm not gonna learn all of them, of course not. But even to just get a repertoire of
You
like,
will have to with the time.
yeah, not all of them, luckily. But even to get a repertoire of like 50 or 60 songs and really nail them and have them down and play them tightly is such a huge investment of time because it's just so much material that you have to juggle in your head constantly, you know, which I usually can't. This is why I write everything down and then or record everything, and then when it's time to relearn the songs for the tour, I'm like, okay, did I really play that? How did that go again? And I sit down and I have to practice everything again.
And for the new mutants, that of course, for example, they don't know completely Rage. Which album would you suggest or song to know maybe have like an interest to dance to Rage?
For new fans that don't know the band well,
If I never heard spoke about Rage, and you're speaking to me about Rage, which albums would you or songs would you suggest me to say? This is good. Listen to this song Rage. You will love the song and the band.
I would definitely choose
Even one than
from,
more.
one from each era, you know.
Yeah.
From the last era, I would definitely suggest Wings of Rage, and how long it stayed in the Rock Hard reader polls at #1, for example, is testament to how good the record is, because it was, I think, at #1 like for 4 or 5 months in a row. So people really click with that record and like it. So this is definitely a good point to start, and just why not start at the end and go back in time?
Yeah.
Then there is definitely. I don't know. I really like Unity of the Victor Smolsky era, but this is just my personal thing. I also like Speak of the Dead, but mostly for the opening song, which is the Sweet Lingua Mortis, which is also awesome. And then when I go back to the Sven and Spiros era, my heart says 13, but really the overall better record, I think, is Black and Mind. And then Perfect Man. I love Perfect Man. It's a great record.
This is more a question for personally for you, and I usually don't do it because it's quite, maybe they just ask you all the time to do this question, but I wanted to say it because sometimes there are kids or teenagers that want to play, but they just get discouraged by all these saying that you can live with music, you can work with music because it's too hard getting famous, of having even a little bit of chance of touring. If there is, for example, a teenager that wants to start playing in a band, could be even a blues band. It doesn't have to be. We are speaking about guitar in this case of you, but could be this. I just think this advice could be spread it to everyone. What would you say to those guys or girls, of course, who wants to start playing? They never had an instrument in their life, so they just wanted to start. Like, what would you say about to them? Since you are in this field for a long time.
Well, it depends, because it's a difference between starting to play an instrument and doing it with the intention to go
You say with the intention to go like.
Well, somebody who just wants to play, I would just tell them to enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, and if you don't find joy in it, then it is not the right thing for you. And then maybe you should look for something different to do. But for the people who do enjoy it and who want to step up and maybe do more with music in their lives, just maybe go into a professional direction, or just play as much as they can and have it as their main hobby or whatever. It's also there. It's a lot is about joy, but then you also have to put in the work, you know. But and this is somewhat derived from what Steve Vai tells people. You have to put in the hours, definitely, but if you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. You're working, but it's cool. It's you see yourself progressing, you see your development, and when you try new stuff and you finally master it, it's an awesome feeling. Like when I started out playing guitar, I started playing like from literally zero practice. I went to practicing for 8 hours a day.
Oh my god.
Because it was just everything I wanted. I came home from school and I started playing guitar until I went to sleep. Then from time to time, of course, I met with friends or whatever, but my main focus was, okay, I want to play guitar because this is what gives me the best feeling. This was more or less my drug, you know?
Yeah.
And so I taught myself, within my first year of guitar playing, I taught myself the first 5 Metallica records. Because I didn't have lessons, I knew how to read sheet music and so on. I bought the songbooks, and which are horrible, by the way. There are so many mistakes in there. But short of 2 solos, which I couldn't handle, I learned everything in my first year of guitar playing because I was just so dedicated, and it wasn't work for me. Of course, my fingers hurt and everything hurt and so on, but I just wanted to do that. And
like your passion, I mean.
Yeah, and when I wasn't playing guitar, I was standing in front of my TV or whatever, in my pajamas with 13-year-olds, as a 13-year-old, rocking out to, I don't know, Metallica, AC/DC, whatever, in Russia, I think was the thing at the Tushino Airfield, the huge open air thing they had, and stuff like this, and then. I mean, at a certain point, when you are in a band and you are doing this professionally, there are times definitely when it is just work. Because sometimes you just have to prepare, and then it's not about having fun with playing guitar, then it's about getting yourself to a level where you are able to perform flawlessly, or where you are able to record flawlessly, because it's just your damn job, because you have the obligation to play a good show for people. So, and sometimes that's not fun, because sometimes you come home, you are tired, and all you want to do is park your ass on your couch and watch Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
But still you have to play guitar, or you have to program new sounds or whatever. But I mean, most of it you should do with joy in your heart, because this is what music should give you always.
Yes, and I was thinking about playing live, because I thought you're playing live a lot. So there is some moment in particular that you remember most playing live? Could be a funny moment, could be even a feelings, could be some episode that happens. of course good or bad, whatever. It's up to you that you stay inside it for years, ages, or just months.
One single moment. I don't know. There have been so many actually, and so many good ones. Some really great. But this is more. It's not like one moment during a show, but it's just certain shows were special, you know. And for example, the first Axel show was definitely special because we were standing on the stage on the boat, and directly in front of us was the pool, because it was the pool stage, and people were in the water in
That's
front of the stage. So
amazing.
this is kind of nuts.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, and also now, I mean, this was recorded without fans there, but recording in the cave with Rage, having that cool lighting set up and the pyro stuff and so on, this was just great. And actually, this was way more exhausting than most shows.
With the crowd.
Without the crowd, actually, yeah. And it was just because you wanted to perform well, you know, and you knew it was for the Wacken thing, and you try to give it your all and your 110%, and there was no chance for like a rest in between. Not like, okay, this is a more mellow song, you don't have to headbang that much or whatever, you know. It was 110% all the time. Yeah.
At least for this year, most band I saw they recorded like metal or like festival metal, something like that, or the European Metal Alliance that played was pre-recorded show, and I think it was like a little bit sad for some band as I noticed, just playing without no. I mean, I play too, but I have never played, you know, in front of a crowd, so I haven't had this feeling, this sensation. But if I have to put myself in the other shoes, I would say yeah, maybe it would be a little bit weird, but because it's the crowd that give you, I think, the energy to move on.
Yeah.
And also being, you know, just create chaos into the stage. And just the last questions, of course, because we're at the end. Just a message for Rage fans, Access fans, your fans, and our followers. For everyone is watching. Just a message.
A message. I'm not great at that.
It could be even just a goodbye. A save or whatever.
I mean, right now, it's just stay a little patient. Be patient, because once the situation is going to be under control, we're going to be out there and we're going to play live a lot. I know that because I know our plans, and if this thing gets under control, we might be on the road for a long time next year, hopefully. And then I hope to see you all out there, and I hope to meet you in person, for example. And
if the things will go great, I think that maybe we could do, because our singer, our musician, if we are going to put her on a tourist, she played heavy metal. She's one of the oldest and amazing singer. Like, she was the daughter of Ronnie James Dio, for example. Like, yeah, they were really close. So she's like one of the 80s, and we're trying to bring her here in Europe, because most of the people doesn't know her, but of course she knows Rage, she knows everyone because all they know each other, I think. And I will try to get, of course we will be in Germany, like, because Germany is, when you go to play in Europe, the first country is go to Germany.
Yeah, we have a lot of metal scene left.
I know. Summer Breeze is my home. I wrote an article. I live there, basically. So I know Dinkelschwung very well.
Mine is the Wacken Open Air. I've been going there since 2003, I think. So yeah, it's always great to be there. And it was such a bummer that this year this couldn't happen. But you know.
we are for the next year. So thank you, Stefan, for this interview, and it was really a pleasure. It was really quiet and chilling interview. So really waking up interview, we can say, because it's morning. Okay, so thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon in a festival or in a gig, whatever.
Yeah, you too as well.
Bye. Bye. Bye to everyone.
You can't refuse what the old man whispered to the preacher during the sermon. He's a saint to the fools of the old land, but we can see straight through the tricks that he is turning. He'll speak, but you gotta believe there's only